hello. We should be active. You should be able to hear us, and we're here to put something together. And we have no idea what it's going to be. So earlier today, I went on Twitter and I asked people to come up with a baseline idea for what this world is going to be, like what the conflict is, what like the main struggle is, and we're going to flesh out the entire history of it from that. So I guess without further ado, let's just go ahead and look at all the suggestions. So, Mario says, some encroaching negative miasmic entity has caused warring nations to ally together. That is big mode. That's just genuine fantasy. A mechanized
That's
world
just a good...
controlled by two rival brothers, where one wants to expand beyond limits of the world and go to the stars, while the other wants to perfect the world. Nations are divided into the e-girls that they simp for. Alright, this guy suggested 3. Let's pick one. Oh, okay. Some infomercial company invents sentient giving chips for household objects and activates them, causing all the household objects to attack everybody. The government's way too obsessed with cheese, and combining that, everything is made of cheese, including monsters, and we are mice. Let's see. The mountains have hidden, and no one knows where they went or how to find them. The world's been turned upside down because of a storm, and a giant tree that is growing forever. A lot of interesting ideas here. I like a lot of them, and I think we can go with a lot of them, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Maybe any favorites that pop out.
There's something about the mountains that hid that is interesting to me because it makes me feel like they're sentient.
Yeah.
They've just decided, like, I want to get away from here. Nobody's looking right now. Quick one, nobody's looking.
Stop looking at me.
It feels like the beginning statement to like a Lovecraft story is the mountains have hidden. And it's just like your brain has to make up what that means.
Yeah, because in my brain,
Or you can say,
like immediately the is the world completely like spherical now and like glassed over? Is there like what's there now if the mountains are gone?
Or what kind of a world like has hiding places for mountains? Like, are those already there?
Just go
or
under the water, like they
Do mountains hide? Like when
Just
mountains
push them
hide, do
into
they
the
just
sea.
become ravines? Like they just flip upside down?
Okay, I think we
Do
have
they
a lot.
invert?
Let's go with that one. Honestly,
Yeah.
Let's go
This
with
seems
that
like the
one.
most
That would work.
interesting.
that was the least confident suggestion, I think. But cool.
Yeah, that was because I remember seeing that one and I was like at first I was like, I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah,
And
I didn't
wasn't
read it
until you
right.
Brought it up.
Mhm.
It wasn't until you brought it up where I was like, what does that mean? What do you
Okay.
mean?
Now that we have the established, the defining part of the world, we need to make the bookends of history, and we have to agree on these. So what is the starting moment that relates to the mountains going into hiding, and what is the conclusion that kicks off the adventure? So my first immediate question is, did the mountains hide a long time ago, or are they hiding as a result of something or from something? Because we could define this as like the search for the mountains, that everyone goes on and does it differently, or we could make everything defining events leading up to that, and then the adventure that we play is based on this sudden event.
That could be really
mountains
interesting.
hiding. A mountains hiding implies like a search for them, or like they were there at one point, but then something moved them. Like it's not the mountains are missing. The mountains are hiding.
Yeah.
So the
Don't
mountains
wanna be
moved.
found.
We can.
Yeah.
I believe with this we can start this story before the mountains go into hiding, and have the end be like after, so we can then put events and eras like in the mix between like this is the hunt for mountains, and then maybe someone just found one or something.
Ooh, that's actually a really good idea. Is like
Ooh,
the mountains
somebody
have gone
found a
hidden,
mountain.
and recently someone found one.
So we do,
and now it's about exploring it.
We want to address why they went into hiding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the two main points that we have to kind of make concrete is what is this defining event that starts all this, and obviously what's the end, and then what the tones of them are. If it's a positive thing that eventually caused the mountains to leave, or if it is a negative thing that caused them to be scared of something that we should be scared of, or is it really bad that we just found one? Like, do we not want them? So I guess let's start with the first. What kicks off this history? What eventually makes them go into hiding?
Something scares them away.
I feel like that.
It's a
Okay.
tiny mouse. They have that elephant syndrome.
Suddenly, a hill appeared, and the mountains scattered.
Eek, a hill.
And we can have a lot of open-ended questions and then hammer in more specific things when we all circle around with a spotlight. So an event scares the mountains into vanishing. I think we can leave that open and address it more in the next step. So, and the bookend will be someone just found the first mountain. Okay, this is really unique. That's cool. So now what we have to do before we get into the nitty gritty is we're creating what's called a world palette. Each of us, the way that this is supposed to go is you think of something that it might go along with the theme or might not, and then you, like, we're throwing problems in for ourselves to solve later. So you add something that you want in the story that we'll have to use later, and then you say something that you don't want in the story that no one is allowed to use. So, like, you could say the mountains are not in the ocean. You could just be a dick like that, and then we'll have to think around it.
Mountains never existed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there goes this fucking prompt.
You can do that, but I don't know how fun this is going to be if you do that. So, for a yes, I'll say... You know, I'll start with my first no. And I will say there are no other planes of existence.
Okay, I'm alright with that.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Well, I have a question. Oh, I guess. Are we going like well, I mean, this is clearly like fantasy, but like how fantasy? Do
Can
we
you
want
turn
to
your
be
mic up
this?
at all, Mario?
Oh, sorry. I might just be like kind of fucking
Well,
quiet.
it'd be better. That's probably a little better.
Yeah. How's this? Do I sound better?
Yeah.
I think so. Also, the Skyrim music in the background just picked up. I mean, the non-copyright violin Symphony 9. Does it just not? Man, my ears.
World forging music.
Ears don't work.
Mixtape 3.
Okay. Let's go down the visual bar here, and people who are watching, because I do want to include these people. I want to give them, like, each of them one chance to also pick a yes or no. They don't have as much power as us because I don't know what their credibility is or how good their ideas are, but we will pick some for sure.
Maybe the mountains were the real friends we made along. The real mountains were the friends we made along the way.
It becomes like a summoning game where you summon mountains. Okay, so down the bar, that is you, Tabby. What do you want to include or want to exclude? Anything off the top of your head works. It doesn't have to
My
pertain to
brain-
the mountains, too.
Kind of wants to say something like, it's like a cyclical world where, like, it has ancient technology that was once destroyed long ago. So, like, there's civilizations that have completely, like, grown over.
Okay.
And
World is old and cyclical. Okay.
so basically, it's a medieval era happening in the remains of, like, a futuristic city. Or
So,
something
like,
like
Adventure
that.
Time, kind of.
Yeah, like Adventure Time
Okay.
and stuff like that. Where, like, the magic is just technology working again.
All right. And to think I was expecting Cheese Mouse World. This is getting interesting.
There's a lore.
There's a lot going on here.
All right, Mario. What's a yay or nay?
Um. Hmm, 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 hmm. The mountains have special powers,
Okay.
and did we already like agree if if they don't want to be found, right? Like we already agreed on that, or
An event scared the mountains into vanishing. That is the established
okay.
beginning of our history.
Actually, I'll change mine
Okay.
and I'll say the mountains suddenly gained sentience.
Okay. Were
And that
gained
is what kicked this off. Gained sentience.
or were granted. Do we want to clarify that right now?
I'll say they were granted
Okay.
sentience. Something gave them sentience.
And that scared them. Shit, we're alive! Run!
And that yes.
Oh god!
Everything hurts.
Everything hurts. Fail, everyone. Get out.
There's like little animals running out of
All right, Rymac, what's a yes or no?
I've got a no.
Okay.
No ocean, seas, rivers, nothing. It's an arid planet.
No large bodies of water, essentially.
Yeah,
Okay.
no large bodies of water. No oceans, no seas, no lakes.
Okay.
Okay.
At least above ground.
Okay. No large bodies of water on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to add a yes.
Hmm.
I don't have a very fast brain, so let me think on this for a second.
I'm sorry if I took out mountains rising out of the water for anybody.
No,
Oh,
that's
no, you're
fine.
fine. You're fine. If anything, this kind of makes more sense. Where it's like if this is a big, open kind of arid place, there's still like spots for them to hide. There's like probably big ravines and stuff where oceans used to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
It's just all fog now from the atmosphere or something. Just be
Let's actually,
canyons
yeah,
all over the
let's
place
go
now.
with that. The world is vast and covered in fog.
Soul
So
stuff.
the world is just massive. I'm trying to think of like a shape that this world would have if it's like a halo or like layers or something. But I think we'll just go.
I'm
with
almost
vast.
thinking like
Oh, like a big
okay,
donut.
yeah. Or like a pumice, like a meteorite. Sort of like bumpy and porous.
Oh, like
Like
Oh,
it's
I
roached
see.
into a sphere, but it's like pocketed.
Okay.
like a potato.
Just
that
from
is a
like
plant.
like erosion has taken over the planet.
The world is vast, covered in fog, with a lot
world
of
is a-
altitude difference. I guess we'll say.
The world is a
The
vast.
mountains just
and
went from
silky
outies to innies.
Mhm.
place.
Yeah. So there's
Mountain
like
did a
everything but
backflip.
mountains is out there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now going back, Tabby, you have to think of a no.
Thinking
Okay.
hard.
I'll add that as a yes from mist. There are cities made of mist.
Ooh.
Oh.
Like cities in the mist, or
Oh, that's like.
Made of
what do you
mist.
mean
like
made
cloud-
of mist?
Kind of like a ghost town.
Oh, like-
that's a ghost town,
okay.
I think. But maybe you
Like,
can
it
interact
makes-
with the people and talk to them. It's just like the ethereal almost overlaps the material.
Okay, interesting.
Kind of picture it like a cloud giant cities where they just have these-
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go like all mist people. So we'll stick with that for now.
Yeah.
It could be like
If anything, that's like a special area.
Yeah, like like wandering like mist cities where they just kind of move with the mist, and like sometimes they even like interact with like other smaller towns
Yeah.
and stuff like
or
that.
it could be like those towns that are built into like the side of canyon walls that you see from like desert sci-fi films that are like built into the canyons.
No, yeah, I actually get the joke, the city of mist, but we're going with actual mist.
I did get that.
Physical means.
You guys can also add a couple no's in the comments if you want. Tabby, sorry to cut in. Do you have one?
Oh fuck. Right.
If not, I'll add another comment here. Where was it? Hell is underground. We don't know what that means. We can define it with eras, but there's something called hell, and it's underground. It could be a creature.
Ooh.
I
There
am
are
hell.
no stars in the sky at night, but just like other planets.
No stars. I just beat
Very,
Radon.
like,
Okay.
Mhm.
just be very void of just light, I guess.
Mhm.
What's the word for big oceans in the sky?
Oh,
Nebula.
Ooh.
So the cosmos is like a nebula of planets
Mhm.
with no stars. So they could be stagnant. That could be a part of the system we go with. Let's see. Mario, we need a no from you.
Somebody just spilled marbles into a vacuum.
Pretty much,
Mhm.
there's no information beyond known human settlements. Everyone's like kind of like stuck in this patch where there is just mist lingering out beyond them.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Or there, do I still just sound really quiet or?
There was that, and then someone
Sound-
just said humans are all dead, and then you said human, and I was like, wait.
Oh wait, sorry.
Just
Did we?
the settlement of creatures that you guys are going to be playing as.
Yeah,
or
settlement
associating with.
of creatures.
What was the restriction?
The restriction is no information is known like beyond the mist. Like there's been people are just afraid to go that way, so nobody's really ventured off very far, and nobody's ever come back.
The mist, I think, is kind of all encompassing the world, and there are cities
okay,
of mist
okay.
that's established. So,
Okay, then
are you just saying that like travelers are super rare, like everyone's isolated
Yes.
themselves? Okay.
Bar
Yes.
travelers. We don't get visitors.
That could be like an interesting thing, like
That's
because players were probably
That could
going
be
to
a
be
hook.
travelers. They're gonna be like, oh,
It's-
like we don't see other people aren't supposed to. What are you doing
it's
here?
also going to be a really big
How'd you
problem
get here?
if like you have a bunch of crops that are dependent on the mountains near your city, and then the mountain runs away, and you're like, what do we do?
this is why everything's fucked. It's like...
Ooh, oh, that actually provides an interesting
got
idea
a-
because no one travels. What
Yeah.
if like the cities of mist, like are like the traveling like traders?
Maybe. Rye, you're
What if
no.
they're physical ghost towns?
Or no, sorry, you're yes.
Well, my yes. Yes. Mountain is a moniker for like they're not actually mountains, but they could be something like mountains, but they are called mountains.
Like giants,
And they're all
or-
in hiding. Like massive indescribable entities that used to exist all over the planet and now they're hiding, but they used to make up some kind of like elementals,
So
I guess. Like mountainous elementals. Like to add on to the idea that the mountains are alive.
that the mountains were granted sentience at some
Okay.
point. So you're basically saying yes to what did the mountains become, maybe, or
I guess that would be like what they kind of
or
are
they
now.
could have been like the corpses of giants, and then them being granted
Ooh.
sentience means they're coming back from something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ooh, where are all the giant corpses?
Okay, let's.
And that can kind of play
like
with
this.
like the
Mountains.
cyclical nature of like the world that I
Okay.
suggested. It's like
Dude, I
The
can name
corpses
Okay.
come
three
back to
good
life.
Yeah, I can name 3 good settings with Titan skeletons, like being cities or parts of planets.
mhm.
I love that shit.
And we have all these floating planets, so that begs the question: what do the other planets? Why are they involved? Like some of them would have to glow, I would think.
Yeah, why are there so many of them?
why are there so few stars?
There's a couple.
Why are there no stars?
Organization of clans, mountains, divine.
Oh, we have
importance.
ancient technology.
Maybe magic only exists when technology like the future. Ooh.
Wild West setting.
Um,
Creatures of divine importance.
Let's add that one and warp it a little bit. Divinity is only granted to things that don't dabble in technology. Like magic is only given to people who abstain from technology.
Maybe that's what scared the mountains when they came to, as they were disgusted by.
So
Like magic becoming real.
magic and technology are mutually exclusive, I think. Is that the right? Okay. All right, we have our yeses and nos. From this point on, we all have complete freedom when we have the spotlight, and you can be concrete with your ideas. But people can ask for clarification, and at this point, like, no one else can tell you no. I'm not the game master anymore. I am officially at the same point as everyone else.
Okay.
Okay.
But adding with that, if you make a city and then it becomes my turn, I can blow it up in the era right after it. So that city doesn't
Oh,
have a-
okay.
yeah. So each player goes around adding periods on the timeline, and then everyone adds one event below the periods. And, oh, is that... once we're done, we can... Okay, let me see one quick second. Yeah, the focus. Okay, the focus comes in next. So each player adds a period on the timeline between the event that scared the mountains into vanishing. So I'll go ahead and use my turn to do this, and then you guys can go off of that. But let's say there's an era, the vanishing of the mountains. And I will divide it from the first event. I'll say, because we have this cyclical world, I will say the cycle of divinity granted magic to the untainted. Things that have not dabbled in technology while waiting for this new era. We haven't defined how long these eras take yet, but it could have been just a pattern of 100 years. 100 years ago, people knew that magic was a thing, then it was gone, and now it's given to people who waited for it, and it wakes up the mountains. So that will be my... period is the vanishing of the mountains. That defines a whole, a big chunk of time defined by kingdoms, scientific pursuits, wars, or major cosmic events. And I will say that the vanishing of the mountains is clearly a dark event. It has a negative impact on people. They needed those mountains. We don't know why. And then for an event, it's more confined to specific places and short time periods, like festivals, battles, new inventions, or the quest of a single hero. You can add those below these time periods. So I will say... I'm open to questions. I think there should be, when divinity is granted to these people, would there have been like a war between hermits and like established civilizations, or like a short battle that takes place?
That could make sense.
I was almost.
Were you
I was almost. Sorry, I was almost thinking. If two ideas, there could be a war between reigning people that believe in the use of magic and others that believe in technology. That's one stance to take. Or it could be battles and skirmishes over remaining resources once the mountains have vanished. Like, people are scrambling, like, what do we do now? And they're fighting over like territory and resources now.
Okay. I will say, specifically because this is an event, it's not an era, but I'm going to put this below the cycle of divinity, granting that you can have a further era that this is a part of, but I will say Jotun, the first mage of the new era, ventures into the mountains to acquire magic artifacts, because he now knows that this is a thing, so he goes on a quest, and he's the first guy who basically comes out swinging. But I'm only defining the event that he goes to find the magic. You guys can pick what he does with that, or who he is, and we can flesh it out later. but he goes into the mountains to find artifacts.
So this is prior to them awakening, or this is like...
This is prior to them awakening, after
Okay.
the cycle of divinity grants magic. So, now that we have that, now I've done my 2 little turns. Again, you guys get 1 period and 1 event. You can tack them onto other people's, you can make them mutually exclusive, but next up is Tabby. What is your... Ooh. What is a period that you want to add, and where do you want to add it?
I'm thinking of after the mountains disappeared, like completely, and everyone has finished like the struggle, and calling it like the era of wells, where all of like the little like the remaining settlements basically have to be built around like the places where they can get any amount of water.
Okay, so the vanishing of the mountains is followed by the era of wells, W-E-L-L?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The era of wells.
Where it's basically everyone is trying to figure out how to survive on basically flat plains.
Yeah, and big
And,
sudden divots, it sounds like. The vanishing.
And so just like having to mine up into the ground to get access to all of that underground water. And so like whole like civilizations just form around these wells.
Cool. Of the first mountain. I'm just changing up the era names. So we have, what do we want to call the first era? The cycle of divinity grants magic to the untainted. The reawakening, maybe?
I think just the awakening.
Okay. The new awakening.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the new awakening, the vanishing of the mountains, the era of wells, and the discovery of the first mountain, which will kick off the campaign, but we can flesh out a little bit more. Where do you want to put your event?
Ooh. I think I actually kind of want to put an event right after the first mountain has been rediscovered.
Okay.
Which is like it's the festival of the wanderer, where like each like city of wells will like pick out one person that they're going to go send out to see if they can like conquer a mountain or conquer the found mountain.
Oh, okay, so they're sending everyone out for like a purpose. All these settlements are unified, and they're saying, okay, go kill it, or like,
Or I can't. That can be something to define
conquer
later.
it.
But
okay,
yeah,
for each
conquer.
settlement sends out a conqueror in response to this. Cool.
I'm calling it like the festival of the wanderer or something.
Yeah,
And that
I
can be
that.
like the names of our heroes or wanderers.
Festival of the Wanderer. Let's go with unintended conqueror. Cool. All right, Mario. What is an era that you want to add? I'm also going to clarify here that the Vanishing of the Mountains is an event that kicks off the era of Wells. I'll change it now. So we have the new awakening of magic. We have the era of Wells that follows after the mountains vanish as a result of the new awakening, and then the discovery of the first mountain, with Jotun being the first mage and the Wanderers being sent out an era later. If you can follow that. I have a document here. Yeah,
It's getting thick.
Are humans already gone at this point, or is this like
yeah, humans cannot be an active
Okay.
part of this story.
Oh, okay. Damn, I'm a little lost right now.
I know.
I'm like,
That's all right, because the next step
would
is
say-
focusing
oh,
very
okay.
much on small parts.
okay. I say there'd probably be a clash over water scarcity.
Okay, that's a part of the era of Wells, do you think?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll add that. I'll tack that on. Clashing of water scarcity.
Or, I'm sorry, do you want that to be, not an era, what is it? I'm sorry, it is a period. Do you want that to be a
Period.
whole thing that follows the era of Wells?
Yes.
Okay, so
I'll say that follows Era of Wells.
So the era of Wells was a bit of like a fledgling event. What do you want to call it? The War of.
The War of Thirst.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
Gamer girl
actually kind
bath
of
water.
metal. Oh no.
We're bringing that one back.
Yes. I do like someone had a suggestion for. I guess this would be an aspect of the discovery, or rather the era of Wells, where monsters come out from. Like if you lift a log off the ground, there's a bunch of bugs and insects under it. So when the mountains vanish, everything under
You
them.
lift a mountain.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. That'd
Ooh,
probably
all the
be
aboleths
another.
come out.
That'd be another thing that causes people to start to clash more often, is the fact that there's scary shit that's going on. A bunch of monsters are resurfacing, and in this chaos, people start fighting amongst each other.
Yeah, so I think it's a little weird that they don't have like there's no aspects to it. I assume that you can write like you're supposed to write like paragraphs. So I think as a part of the era of Wells, there's a struggle against, we'll call them the Hell Dwellers.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
Hell
Dwellers.
Hell dwellers.
That's a good name.
Okay, so we got
Rise
your
from the ground, deep from the pits of hell.
yeah. So now we need an event from you, which
An
I'll
event.
re-clarify again. They are confined to specific places in short time periods, like festivals, battles, inventions, or heroes' quests.
Hero's Quest. A little goblinoid named Spigot establishes a city.
Okay. What era does this take place in? The War of
This is
Thirst?
in the era of thirst.
Okay.
He has basically claimed a well for his people.
Okay, and we can be a little bit more in depth with these. So Spigot establishes.
okay.
Is this going to be the first city? Like, is everything else
Yes.
villages? Or okay, the first city. And what does Spigot call the Goblin City?
Hope.
Oh.
That's sick. Goblin City of Hope. All right.
I love that.
Cool. So Rymac, an era, or sorry,
era.
a period, which is a big chunk of time defined by kingdoms, scientific pursuits, wars, what have you.
So have our inhabitants of this world met the Mist people yet?
There
cities of mist?
are cities made of mist. That's all we have right now.
Okay. Then my era is going to be the Avian Revolution.
Okay.
Where-
when does that take place?
It takes place after the city of Wells,
Oh,
shortly after the discovery of. It takes place after the well dwelling period.
yeah.
Around the time that we start discovering the Hell Dwellers, like the monsters that start coming out and like terrorizing people.
Yeah.
So the
That-
only safe way to travel now is not on the surface, but through the sky.
Okay.
So it's sort of like an Iron Revolution is what I had in mind of them creating aircraft travel.
Would that be good before the War of Thirst? Or after? Because the Hell Dwellers show up right as the vanishing of the mountains and the era of Wells.
It could be part of the War of Thirst.
It needs to be.
Well,
the War of Thirst, I think, needs to be resolved. That'll be a major issue. So, is this something that gets resolved, or something that gets explored before or after people solve the water crisis? Essentially.
gotcha. So the Hell Dwellers, that's what we're calling the creatures of the behemoths that are crawling out of the ground?
Yes.
Or did I hit that wrong? Okay. After I want to say it was And that begs the question, like, if they used aircraft in the War of Thirst or not.
So aircraft. So we have cities of like made of mist, and probably people with the mist.
Well, that was going to be my event, was somebody discovering a city of mist with their aircraft, like the first
Okay.
essentially Wright brother-esque character to create one of these aircraft pieces goes out searching for water,
Does that solve
and
the
then
War
they
of Thirst?
discover I want to almost say it was an endeavor. Maybe it could solve the War of Thirst, because people can now safely travel out to find oasis, and that helps them like geographically map out pockets of attainable water, and the resources are shared somewhat.
Okay.
I don't know. It could go either way. Like it could happen, and then the War of Thirst happens because there is now control over all the mapped oasis,
Okay.
or it could be used to solve the
I'll
oasis
say that
problem.
you can't relinquish control in this. This is your choice.
I can't relinquish control.
As in, like, it is up to you whether or not it solves it. I'm not gonna choose.
Yeah,
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
so-
just need to pick something.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
no pressure.
Okay. No pressure.
Because we can either one. We can probably make up the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be a lot of time passing.
The
too.
avian the avian revolution comes out after it comes out as a means to the end of the War of Thirst,
Okay.
as a lizard humanoid, more lizard folky, creates as they create a flying machine to help catch the turbulent wind currents that are roaming across this pocketed planet, and they are able.
Are these these flying contraptions magical or mechanical?
They are mechanical.
Okay. Mechanical flying machines. Cool.
Would they be more would the avians be more advanced than other people then?
No,
or-
the avian I think is just the name of the era, but it's lizards that bring it
Oh.
about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the avian revolution ends the War of Thirst as lizard humanoids create mechanical flying machines to seek out water. That is a whole era. I like that. And then I'll flesh out the other ones too, but go ahead and pick a defining event.
My defining events. Trying to think of a name for a lizard person.
Seth.
Let's see.
Seth.
Seth MacFarlane.
Or, fucking Facebook. Come on. Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
Oh,
Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
We could just do that. This doesn't have to all be
Oh my
serious.
god.
Oh.
Lizard D Zuckerberg.
I feel like lizards tend to have this is just me, but I like very clicky kind of sounding names, like
Yeah,
Skik
like
or something
some-
like that.
Vasak. Vassak.
That's it.
The lizard folk discovers the first city of mist by flying into the atmosphere.
Okay. Awesome. I like that. I think we should honestly... Oh, you know what? Actually... Okay. Now that we've all done our first runs... I really want to just... How far in are we? 43 minutes? Okay. I'll show off the timeline once it's a little bit more made after we go to break. But for now, I'm going to give you guys a clunky one as we move on to the next step. Okay, so we add a period and timeline, then everyone adds one event below the periods. And that's where we have the core of the world, so now each of us gets to hold essentially what is a spotlight. I think in the game it's called a lens, where you get to focus, you hone in on one specific part of the story that you don't understand, and you kind of get to solve it, and then everyone else goes around and does another cycle.
Okay.
based on that focus that you choose. It says if you're teaching other players the game, it suggests that you do it first, so I will try. I pick the focus, and I can add 2 things on my turn, a new period and an event, which I guess we just did wrong, but who fucking cares? And then we go around the table where everyone else gets to add 1 thing to that, and then I get to close it out with 2 more, and then we change the lens. Oof, Excuzzi. Good old... There's a scientific term for, like, when you have tiny burps and stomach problems because you're nervous.
Oh,
It's like psychophysiological or something. It's
Oh,
not fun.
Big word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
I've
It's
had-
bullshit.
Mm.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's the
Bullshit.
I'm like Zark Muckerberg and
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what? I'll let that just be a recommendation where leading into the avian revolution, Zark Muckerberg funds the exploration of aircrafts. I want to focus on essentially Jotun and people like him in the after the New Awakening, where they start the people who are worthy of getting magic go out, and I kind of want to figure out how that leads to the vanishing of the mountains. I think that's something that we should establish. So I can add 2 things, be they eras or events. I think we have a decent amount of eras. I'm happy with just a bunch of events. So I will add... Or actually... Yeah, I think I will add 1 more era between the New Awakening and the Era of Wells, where there is the war on magic, let's say, instead of technology. Because magic is the new thing. People don't like change.
Gotcha.
War on magic. I want to pick a better name for that, so I will.
Do it now.
Could call it something like The Shattering or something like that.
that's like a D&D thing, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm going to call it the War for
Nothing's
the
original.
Grid. Because
Ooh.
War for
if
the-
magic has not existed and it's just been technology, maybe they had... This could be part of like the ruins that are established where a lot of people were really happy with really kind of capitalist lives, I guess. Very, very mechanical, very functional. And then they wanted to keep it. When Jotun goes out and finds a bunch of magic, shows up and starts blasting shit, and then people are just... They have to fight him. So let's go with the War for the Grid. And that happens before the vanishing of the mountains. So I want to... I'll essentially just flesh out and clarify. The vanishing of the mountains happens as a failed attempt to gain power. Let's just make Jotun important. So, happens as Jotun seeks out final power. And I do want to... I think I'll add to that a little bit, saying that that is what caused the grid to lose and went to the era of Wells, because everyone had to reestablish everything now that half of civilization was just ripped out of the ground. It succeeds.
So what is Jotun? Because he's not human, right? He's like a...
He can't be human. So we have we have goblins and we have lizard people so far. I want to say he will be like a... Because I just finished Avatar. I want to make him kind of like a cloud hopper or like an air nomad kind of character, where they just abstain for their own reasons. So let's say...
I dig that.
Is nomad the right word? Where they like you're just a monk that lives in an isolated area, or do nomads wander?
Hermit?
No, because
Hermit would be the more secluded type.
No, I think I want him to maybe come from something more communal. I'm just thinking of the right word. I don't actually get to pick. That's too
Because
much for me.
the nomads, because I know like the air nomads, they would move temple to temple.
Oh,
Kind of
I actually didn't know that. That's
in
really
Avatar.
cool.
Yeah, yeah.
there's so many different things you pick up on every rewatch. It's so good.
Avatar's really good.
Super good. Korra.
It's a shame.
I couldn't finish the last season.
I think this kind of begs the question if cloud hoppers become extinct as a part of some of these eras, and that's why people need to get back into the skies. So all I've added is that as a result of the New Awakening, eventually Jotun, who is called the first mage, ventures to find new artifacts. He's from a race of people called cloud hoppers, and eventually Jotun causes all the mountains to rise, and they leave, and the rest is kind of up to you guys. So we'll go around again. Each of you gets to add one thing. I think, unless it really feels appropriate, we should maybe stick to events for this. But Tabby, you're first. What is an event that happens within the lens that I'm presenting?
Gotcha. I think when like Jotun causes the mountains to leave, that's what causes the cities of mist to stay away temporarily, is because they used to have to use the mountains or whatever to get up to them, and now that they're gone.
Okay, I think I want to clarify then. Are cloud hoppers native to these mist cities? Are they the people from them?
Let's do that.
So
that's why they get
That's what
the
I was
name
thinking,
cloud
I think
hoppers,
that.
because they come from the mist cities.
So as a result of the vanishing of the mountains, I say this is all before the era of Wells, but it is a result of the same things that caused the era of Wells. So the vanishing of the mountains happens as he seeks out final power. Did we pick the mountains were granted sentience again? Mountains are corpses of giants. I don't think we established that they were running away from something. I think it's just that they're gone, right? Okay.
Well, we said that they were in fear of something, wasn't that? Or did we not establish that?
Did we establish that?
They ran from something. Yeah.
Okay.
They ran from something.
Of the mountains vanishing, so too did the cities of mist. So I guess it's up for you to clarify. Did the cities of mist vanish in fear of the mountains, or maybe as a sign that the mountains knew something was up, or?
I think it would be as an omen.
Okay.
That the mountains were leaving, is that the cities of mist kind of detach themselves from the rest of the land.
I assume that these guys probably don't like Jotun very much, but Mario, add something to this.
When the mountains vanished, for whatever reason, it caused all the water, large bodies of water, to dry up.
Okay.
And just disappear, and that's why this area is now very arid. That was a cause of the mountains.
Can you flesh out a little bit more how exactly that happened? Did they just cause all the water to pool in their caves and then sink into hell or something? That's just my idea. Don't take it.
I'd say I kind of like that. I like that. It's it's a thing of they seem to have fled into the big bodies of water.
I have an idea.
Oh,
Wait,
okay,
what?
okay.
No, because we don't have big bodies of water.
No, I'm would that be prior to this, or could I establish that as that is a cause of this?
I think so maybe all the mountains were surrounded by moats, and when they rose, it was just a very convenient thing.
Oh,
and,
the water
maybe,
just
the
swells
settlements.
down.
It was like a
kind of-
planet of lakes.
Yeah.
Or maybe.
And that's why it's pockmarked now.
Ooh,
is that the
we could do-
When the
all
mountains
lakes
leave,
have
they took the mountain springs with them.
What if water is blood of the mountains? So
Okay.
when they all died, they bled out of their chest, and a lake is made in proximity to them.
So when they awoke, did they suck it all back
No,
up? Or?
I think they're undead.
This just went
Or
from
something.
Treasure Planet to Bloodborne in half a
Because
second.
this is did we actually establish the thing of having the bodies of giants be what they manifest around, or was that just a
Huh?
or was that a
Oh yeah, what did we do with the whole Titan corpse thing?
Yeah, the Titan corpse thing.
I think
Or
we did pick. Yeah, the mountains are corpses of giants from forgotten history. We do have
Okay.
that
Okay.
established.
So basically,
Okay, so
something that
water
Jotun
blood makes
did,
more sense.
or
Okay.
wait, no, because it
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
Jotun
so
that.
I'll let you
Okay.
pick. Do they reabsorb all the water into their bodies and take it with them, or does the water follow?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why people want to find them. That's why people want to kill them,
Yeah.
so that they get the water back.
Mm.
God, this is more like, I guess water is more like Ecor in a way.
It kind of is.
Yeah, it's like
it's a
Which
like
I
a
dig.
Christian biblical thing too. Is just like water is life.
yeah.
Mhm.
Water is the blood of mountains, and when they rose, they took it back. That's fucking cool. All right.
He drinks your milkshake. He just.
All right. Right, you get to pick one. This can go all the way back to the lens is from when Jotun takes off to go get magic to the mountains rising and what happens with it. So we have essentially the whole war for the grid that we haven't really addressed yet.
Yeah. Why do the mountains leave?
Oh
'Cause-
shit! Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, what are they afraid of that makes them flee?
People have been
Technology
drinking
and
their blood
magic.
for years. That freaks them out.
Yo, that's creepy. I'm leaving.
Ew.
Maybe like old,
Ooh.
Ew.
maybe old
I
tech
did
is like
get
super
an
powerful or
idea,
something.
but I know it's Rye's turn, so
What'd you say? What'd you say, Logan?
Nothing. Just
Oh.
if tech was really big.
If what was real big? Tech, right? Tech.
Yeah.
Tech was real big.
Yeah, that is a really good question. What the fuck are you afraid of?
The mountains be afraid of some kind of tech.
Drills. But that's very Gurren Lagann.
People.
But that wouldn't be
Just,
excavations is a concept.
Yeah.
Like,
I could see that.
excavations.
I would think because they were, I believe by Jotun they were risen to be like warriors, but them rising just caused everything to end. So
It backfired.
Oh, what if Jotun going out and searching for magical items and stuff in an era where ancient technology is long gone? If the Jotuns used to be warriors and people just live off their Ecor now, what if Jotun found something and upon activating this ancient technology, it made the mountains go away?
oh,
what
Okay.
if
Like some sort of protocol activated that made them flee or
so-
sent them away.
yeah, Jotun.
what if you like restarted like the heart of one of the mountains and it like woke it up and then
Yeah,
I
it started
think
like
the
a chain
chain
reaction that woke them
Like,
all up.
That
yeah
or
found the flesh of the mountain.
it might need to be something bigger, where like he finds something that can maybe control all of them, but he does it wrong, and that sets something else in motion. So
Or something else already has control.
yeah, and he like
He just turns them on.
so Jotun. How do you want to put this? Jotun awoke an ancient god, and with it, all the mountains did, or something. Because this is Jotun trying to basically destroy society, establish society, and rewrite it in a magical way. He hates technology, I think, is kind of established.
Okay. If he hates technology, then he wouldn't be fucking around with ancient tech.
Well, I mean, if it is magic tech from a different era, because the New Awakening
Oh, okay.
reawoken magic, and with it, old magical technology. Like, I think the current type of technology hasn't been defined yet, but it is, maybe it's different. Like, each era is different, because as we have a yes, everything's cyclical.
What if he found... What if he found something like a place, like an ancient place that had almost magical instructions that were indecipherable, but that related to images that sort of like, I don't know, a place that almost seemed to be like a control center
Yeah,
for
and he
the
presses.
mountains.
He just presses one
He
of the many
activates
on
something.
buttons
There's like an
because that's the only
yeah,
one.
or there's like an
Okay.
orb in the middle that's like sparking. He touches it, and boom, all the pictures light up of the giants' corpses, and then the earth shakes as the mountains disappear.
What if like the citadel was like the heart of the world?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is a holy
Yeah,
site
that's what I was
that
thinking.
controls the world cycle, essentially.
Mhm.
Is
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But he only has the
Called
knowledge to
something
awaken.
like the cathedral or something. Yeah.
And I think can we say in being awoken, they realize they shouldn't have woken back up. Like maybe
Yeah.
they
That's
don't
why
want
they
they don't
flee.
want to be
That's
around.
why-
Like
Yeah.
it wasn't
why
their
they
time
flee.
to wake up yet.
Yeah.
And they knew
Yeah.
this, so they
I
had to
like
run
that.
away.
They're afraid, so
Ah.
they run because they're like, oh no, we're fucking everything up by being here.
Mhm.
We're not supposed to be here right now.
And maybe that's why they're coming back, because it's now their time for the mountains to come back.
Yeah, all we know is that someone has found a mountain and people are sending adventurers out to go try and beat one up and take its water.
Subdue
give
it.
me your
Yeah.
water.
But we don't know why it was found or where it was found. I think that's another lens that we need to explore before we do this adventure.
Mm-hmm.
This is really fun, and I'm glad that we don't have to do the role play pressure of the next part of the game because we can
Oh,
just
yeah.
keep doing this for a while. And they understand. Only has the knowledge to awaken giants, and they understand.
World building is fucking fun.
Mhm.
Okay. Awaken the giants, and they understand that what awoke them is too dangerous to be used right now, so they leave. So this would probably be somewhere that they can't access, and just like go beat up Jotun or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the full cycle for this focus. Yeah, no, I'd be happy to make the timeline public. I think we're gonna take a little break, and then we're going to shift the lens. So I'll maybe flesh this out a tiny bit more, and we can revisit it a little later. But that's what we know right now, and we don't even have to because history is very bleak and misrepresented, and has a lot
Yes,
of patches and holes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is all we know.
People are ignorant. They don't know anything.
But until then, enjoy.
History likes to get rewritten.
Yeah, enjoy the same break animation that I've used over and over again. I made a bunch of different ones. I think it was Cool Boy Shane or Fell's suggestion to just do a bunch of different. I think we only have the squirrel, and we get bored, and we're done. And that's it. Whatever. So yeah, transferring over, and we'll see you in a hot minute. We're not talking about Elden Ring, like all people
Wait,
do
what?
when they're
No.
on the internet.
No,
Playing
no,
Elden
no.
Ring on the internet.
We produce content 24/7. We don't.
I am
no.
actually going to be very kind to everyone. Please don't steal all my notes below and drop what I've been working on, what I've been basically putting together as this world in document form, so I can understand it and no one else can. All right, now that we have my lens, which isn't a whole lot, but we can bounce around, or we can honestly, when I pass it over, you can zoom in the lens to a specific part of what we just talked about, or you can go somewhere else. It's completely up to you. And I'm speaking now to Tabby.
Yeehaw. Okay.
Wu-Tang.
My brain. I kind of want to zoom in towards, because now we've kind of
Okay.
established our beginning. I kind of want to work a little bit more on the discovery of the first mountain.
Okay. Yeah, that
kinda
is
do a
that
lens
is very
zoom in there.
important. So you can pick two things.
Mm-hmm.
Either the era that led up to it, which I think we already kind of have established, is the avian revolution, because people are flying around. You might bump into one. They're a lot taller now, I would think. So yeah, you can maybe say like what event started it, or more things as a result of it.
I think like the specific event of like the discovery of the first mountain, of being like
Okay.
done by like this little just like beast man. I'm gonna keep it vague for now.
Okay.
Of like a beast man pilot like just flying out like towards a horizon until
Pull it.
like stumbling across a like large crater with just a shadow within it, and kind of landing there and exploring around, just kind of rumbling into the night, like the first like mountain pierced through the earth. And
Okay, I'm sorry, you lost me a little bit there.
so basically like they land at this like little crater to like set up a base,
Okay, that's
and
was
the
what-
first
gonna be one of my
mountain
questions.
appears right next to it. Which can be
What
like
era are we dealing with right now?
The discovery of the
discovery
first mountain.
the first mountain.
We're not
Okay.
necessarily, yeah, the lens isn't really focused so much on an era, but more, I guess, the beginning of this era, the event of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so a Beastman
like-
pilot stumbled onto it while visiting a crater. To form a new cell. I like that we have the reason for him going out there now. And you get one more.
I'm kind of tempted just like to kind of define like what the first mountain found kind of is,
Yeah, go for it.
of like almost like a like living almost like kind of like Shadow of the Colossus, like kind of
Oh, okay.
semi stone, semi like animal living, this like giant being.
What shape?
Probably like humanoid, but with like probably like, let's just say weird amount of arms, so like 5 arms and a head of too many eyes.
I don't like that they're alive, like fleshy now. I don't like that.
Yeah. Slowly
like-
turning more and more Eldritch horror.
I feel like it's almost like less fleshy, and it's more like that just very tough skinned kind of look of the Shadow of the Colossus creatures. Like that
Yeah.
fur tuft is sticking out in some places, and there's like
But
these
it's like stone
big
building
stone-
elsewhere.
Yeah, that's what I don't like.
It's almost
though, is
like
the
an
eyes.
artificial flesh.
Because I would think they would
Yeah.
have to be
I love-
really big, and I would think kind of the way that this is going, because it has a bunch of arms, I think they'd kind of go around its head so it can just look down everywhere.
It's
At
just like
least
in a
this
mass.
one. We don't know what the
kinda-
others look like, or if they all look the same.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, they all
I
have different
picture-
powers.
You
anything,
can
I
establish
picture,
that
like-
if you want, but yeah, I guess we kind of maybe.
I like
could-
the idea of like each mountain being unique.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
so,
kind of like Aged Man. They could each. Sorry, not my turn.
I'll put that
You're good. You're good.
up here with the war for the grid. Right when they all rise, people would. Do you think that people would recognize, or do you think that they vanished without a trace? That's maybe something that we should all just decide on. Does anyone know
I
what they
feel
look
like
like
they-
before now?
I think there's like
Oh, you
written
mean-
accounts, but it's been long enough that they've kind of like
I like
faded into
that.
like these ideas.
I do.
Mhm, like legends of what they
Lost
look like.
information.
They probably just look like massive, dead like amalgamations of shapes and like how we were saying, each of them has a different form. Each one could almost be like reminiscent of like different like biblical angel concepts.
Love that. Throne bearer style
Just like
mountain.
beyond
Oh, God.
comprehension.
No, all of them have defined forms. To have a throne bearer giant that is just a bunch of rings circling each other, but they're all made of like masses of stone.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking.
God.
Almost
You're
like
this stone on
Evangelion
stone
status.
grinding as they're like moving.
Okay, so we have the first mount. Yeah, it sounds like Evangelion. The first
But
mountain.
mountains.
We
And
have an
drink their
account of
blood.
what it is, and we know that they're all different. I think those are two solid points. I'll be the last, so we'll go with Mario next.
Okay. So this is us still focusing on the discovery of the first.
Yeah.
mountain.
Anything
Okay.
that is within that scope of we found it. Like, what does this mean? Who found it? What did they do? What did it do? Maybe.
I would say that the mountain doesn't allow people to get close to it, but besides that is very docile. For whatever reason, it's just standing there.
Ooh,
Just
Okay,
Blair
just
like if
witching it
people-
towards the northern hemisphere.
If people try to get close, it like picks up stones and attempts to like shoot them down if they're like flying around it.
can I add one thing
Yeah.
of naming
Sure.
naming the mountain the Watcher because of the many eyes?
Oh, the eyes, I like that.
I was gonna suggest the Observer. The Watcher's good
Ooh.
too.
The
Gazer.
Watcher's a Marvel character. Let's go with the Observer.
Oh, let's go.
The
The Observer.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing's
let's
original
put
anymore.
an adjective there. The what
Gazing
observer?
observer. Redundant observer.
Tabby, I'll let you pick the adjective.
I think just like towering because it's their first mountain they found.
Okay. Yeah, I guess people wouldn't have known that they are that tall because when they get up, you don't think of like a person laying down and then going all the way.
It's so daunting. I'm picturing amongst this mist while somebody's flying ahead, they just see this giant shadow form just standing there.
And there's like
the
glowing eyes
start-
suddenly open
the
up in the
eyes start
fog.
piercing through.
Okay, I want to.
Have you guys seen?
do the
Oh, go
eyes
ahead.
glow?
I picture yes.
They do now.
They
I
do.
like that.
All right.
That's it. In fact, that's a main way to figure out that there's a giant nearby. It's like, what is that big formation over there? Its eyes just fucking open up and it looks at you.
There's one game that I saw that someone was putting together that I think it's like that, where the field of vision is very thin and there are these towering things, and they added eyes, and it made it so much worse. Because I think they all track the player, but it's this colossal thing. Okay. The sun just, if you notice my, what's the
Yeah,
word
you're
for
getting blasted right now.
Yeah, it's a specific time of day where the sun is just like, hey, I'm right here now.
Hey,
Everything's
fuck you.
brighter.
It's
so I'll be back in
420
one
right now, so
Oh, fuck.
shit.
Oh,
I'll be right
shit.
back. Who's up? Mario, you picked what it's doing with people. Rye, think of something. I'll be right back.
Thinking. Definitely thinking. No pressure.
Loading screen.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of
I have curtains
two
coming in the mail.
events.
But
Curtain-
now
Oh
it's
yeah, I was about to say, why don't you
cinema
get
sheet.
curtains?
Yeah. Okay. What is your
So-
thing?
I'm coming up with two events based around the discovery of the first mountain.
Okay.
Oh, I think
Is
you
that
meant
what I'm
that as
coming
a
up with?
question.
Oh no, sorry,
That was a
one.
question.
Because
One.
Tabby gets the lens, so Tabby gets 2. The rest of us get 1.
Um,
So
the
far we have a
mountain's
stabber.
base, the mountain's base, which
Mhm.
has been, it's become a new, like, source of tension because the mountain's base and like its feet and legs that are going into the earth is sitting in a basin of its ichor, of its water. Like the water's coming out of it, and people there's basically what I was thinking is that it's created like, or maybe not so created, when it was found in the distance, people trying to approach it discovered that it's basically standing in a lake made of its own water,
Okay.
and it's like a new resource of water,
So it's
but
letting.
getting close to the
Yeah.
it's not letting people get close to it,
Okay.
but people are like, oh, there's this massive water resource here now.
I like that.
But the
actually.
giant is protective of anybody that gets close, so we can't access it. How do we access this water?
Does that mean it's bleeding?
I think so.
Hmm.
At least this one is, and we don't know how or why.
What causes it?
It's
kinda
Why
like-
is it bleeding?
I find a bit of inspiration in like have you all seen Nausicaa in the Valley of the Winds? How like
Oh.
they reawaken the giant too early, and it's just like falling apart as it's trying to
Yeah.
march into battle.
Oh my god.
This thing, with the cataclysm of it, of them all being awoken at a time that they weren't ready, they're just sort of standing there like half conscious, still bleeding. So there's like waterfalls cascading off of it and pooling into this basin at its feet, but nobody can get close to it. So it now creates the tension of a new water resource,
Yeah.
plentiful water resource, but at the foot of a literal titan on the horizon
Mhm.
that attacks anything that gets close.
So we've answered what they discovered. I guess kind of how they're handling it, which is not well. They can't do anything about it right
Mhm.
now.
Mm-mm.
The tension of the situation, like the importance of going to them.
I think for my part of this, I'm wondering if the specific location is important, like if it's on a ley line, and that's how we map out the other giants, because we have to find them.
Oh. Maybe it's staring off into.
Yeah,
like,
I'm going
any
to say
direction.
each of the arms are pointing in clear directions.
Ooh.
Oh, I like.
Ooh,
It's yeah okay.
I like that too. That's eerie too, with 5 arms.
Yeah. And that helps with the Festival of the Wanderer, how people just like, yeah, no, we have basically a compass that works on its fingers. So
What if the festival, like, they all, like, all the heroes that get sent out meet up at the giant, and that's kind of like where, like, this little tiny town has started developing?
let's say, yeah, that's where the Festival of the Wanderer kind of happens, where each settlement sends an intended conqueror to the giant, to the towering observer.
Mm-hmm. If
That's pretty
anybody
cool.
conquers the giants, that would be enough water to share with everybody.
Where they group into parties and pick a direction.
Ooh, I like that.
Picturing like, it has 2 functioning arms and just 3 on its head are just like pointed in different directions.
That's really
Ooh.
scary. I do want to say that, yeah, I'll establish that all of them are pointing, which means there's at least 5 either giants or important locations relating to giants, or mountains, rather.
Mhm.
All right, that one's mine. So, Mario, pick a lens.
Pick it.
I actually really like how that one turned out.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Rad lore.
Mm,
We haven't really... I did take
Or
my
you-
turn, but I will say that we haven't really addressed the Hell Dwellers and the Era of Wells.
I was about to say
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
was like looking at the Era of Wells and I was about to talk about
Because
The
there's
Hell
that, or
Dwellers.
we could explore kind of the reindustrialization with Spigot and Zarkmuckerberg.
Sorry.
I think it might be better to like focus on area of wells and then continue like
Okay, the era of wells.
going up. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
Era of
I'm fine with
wells.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you get to pick 2.
Pick 2. The Hell Dwellers are almost
Smell
similar.
dwellers.
Are Smell Dwellers.
Smelly dwellers.
The Hell Dwellers are also these kind of weird, rocky, kind of fleshy creatures that have
I don't
a.
like you.
Oh, you don't like that?
No, I don't like you.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
get to pick, dude. This is your turn. Are they children or some shit? Ugh.
They are different from the giants. They have like a magma kind of inside that glows out from them, and they also have like various forms. They tend to erupt out of the ground, and that is why people establish settlements to try to group up and avoid them. But if you wander out too far by yourself, there might be like a possible thing where you'll feel the ground rumble and these creatures will rise up.
Eek. Okay, so the Hell Dwellers are stony magma people with highly varying forms and erupt in invasive swarms.
Yes.
Okay, I accidentally rhymed there. So that'll be 1 for you. What's the other one?
Okay. Other one.
For those of you who are curious, and the single person who's asking, George Stephen, we are basically playing like a Tall Tales version or a very loose form of a game called Microscope, where that's kind of what we're doing. We're playing with a lens, and we're looking at the back and the front of something and all of its innards. It's a very fun system, and it's like $10, so absolutely buy it.
While Hell Dwellers are awful to deal with, they tend to harbor inside of their bodies. After they die, they crumble apart, and they will actually have very rich minerals inside that people use for like materials like iron and things like that.
Do they contain things that are valuable to the resurgence of technology or the resurgence of magic? What are they good for?
I'd say technology.
Okay.
And this might be like a reason why the avian people were able to make their stuff. Maybe they found a way to deal with Hell Dwellers and use their resources.
We've kind of stepped away from eras and events now, but I'm totally fine with that. We're just adding details and important things that we get to play with. So, Rye.
Those are my 2.
Well, that just made me think of steam plus magma bodies equals steampunk aircraft.
They have this rock thing just fueling their aircraft.
Turning the turbines, making them fly on like weird canvas wings or whatever.
Do you want to go with that? Well, actually, this happens before the War of Thirst,
Yeah.
which leads into the avian
Yeah, so the
revolution.
avian revolution wouldn't be, I think.
Yeah.
So they could be used for tech advancements, but not for avian revolution yet. So
Yeah. I've got mine. Don't take it. Don't overlap it or make it impossible. Or do. That's a part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
well, why don't you go first then? Because I'm drawing a blank here.
Okay. I'm gonna say that we, the whatever non-human groups, live and had to fight this war, won by exhausting their water resources. They had to flood these people to stop them. The war was won by exhausting large water reserves, which led to the War of Thirst. That'll be mine.
You're still thinking, right? I also have mine.
For the era of Wells? Yeah, go for it.
I was thinking that, like, in the era of Welds, the like well cities would have guilds that are called like the miners, where because these creatures like drop those precious resources, they would go battle them for it to get those resources back. And after they flooded those caves, they've kind of taken a more traditional going down into those caves to get those resources, and maybe still encountering a few that survived.
Okay, so miners were originally a group of warriors whose like job was to fight them. Okay.
I find that interesting, like a adventurer type character, just being like, "Yeah, I'm a miner.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I kill hell beasts."
Yeah, I killed demons from magma demons from hell.
Yeah. All right, I got mine.
Okay.
All right. During the era of Wells, while there were people that were settling into these massive craters in the ground, establishing civilizations, on the other end of that spectrum, there was an increase in raiding and pirate activity on the essentially the plateaus around these craters, like the lands between the craters, and where people essentially like bandit gangs.
Okay.
I like the idea of there being like people that didn't want to. They could even be like superstitious people that didn't want to go near the old resting sites of the giants because they thought there was like a bad omen around it or something.
That also really
So they were-
helps just the established rule where people don't travel very much, because I think we kind of established that the settlements are on the exact ring of these craters, and people like go in and come out because it's dangerous down in the middle. But it would make sense that some like mist bandits or bandits who hide in the mist in the areas around the crowd. So I guess, what do you want to call them? And maybe if you want to give them like a leader, that'd be cool too.
Let's call them. What's the word that I'm thinking of? It's when a storm is created and there's a upper hot draft and a lower cold draft. What are those drafts
Oh,
called?
come on.
Oh,
Front, a cold front
thermals?
and a warm front.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
The cold fronters.
cold frontier.
The cold frontier. Nah. Let's call them tempests.
I like that.
Tempest. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just the overall name for the more bandit-like mist hunters that prey upon people that travel between cities, that are much more,
Yes.
yeah.
So it
Called
leads to the
tempests.
isolation of the wells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think with that, it's actually your turn to pick a lens.
My turn to pick a lens. Let's pick the War of Thirst. Let's just keep going down the line.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Did Tabby do a thing for that one? Or...
Yeah, you did Discovery of the First Mountain.
Oh, okay.
So you pick two things for the War of Thirst. So far, we don't know anything about it. It is people battling over these small bodies of water as the resources dwindle because they lost all of them winning the last war. This place sucks.
Yeah, it's great.
The War of
It's
Thirst.
so right
All because
for content.
one damn wizard hit a button.
Some jackass with good intentions probably just fucking
He threw a wrench in the system and it blew everything up.
just hits the button. He's like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say that the War of Thirst started with a battle over one specific lake that two tribes were coming upon, or civilizations, and they were both so desperate for the resources that they just battled to the bitter, bloody end, which resulted in what history calls the Battle of Blood Lake.
Okay, the Battle of Blood Lake. And is that kind of... So that would be... Yeah, like, is that the defining event that kind of kicks off, like, everyone thinks, oh, this is war? Or is this one of the defining ones that... Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking that's the turning point where people realize, oh, people are starting to kill each other for these water resources.
Yeah.
Looking pretty desperate out there. It encourages the more violent societies and starves out the less confident societies.
Can't spell rumor. Okay, and then your second one.
My second one.
I like that we already have established factions, both wild and not. Like,
Yeah.
because in history, the Hell Dwellers are done. Like, we beat them. But they're still out there.
Mm-hmm.
Still remnants.
I almost want to say that there's like not exactly a prohibition, but like an underground like Blackwater market for water
Okay.
that rises up.
Is that before or after Hope? Like, Spigot makes Hope. Is this something that plagues Hope, or is Hope something that, like, banishes it?
I want to say it's something that happens before Hope.
Okay.
Like people are desperate, people are trying to obtain power over one another. So there becomes an underground ring of finding water sources but not sharing with it, like secret faction alliances and just like people trying to take control by distributing water.
Yeah. So you immediately have the most wealthy and powerful people in the world rising as a part of, I like that name, the Blackwater Market.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, it's my turn. I really like the idea of Spigot, so I think
Gonna kill.
I'm gonna kill him.
I want to make goblins like the virtuous people in this setting.
Oh,
Where, like,
okay.
they're the
I like
ones
that.
who are like paladins who, I think,
They've risen up.
yeah. I think they would probably be like budding good magic, like magi. Like they're ones who are like,
Oh.
everyone else is suffering because of this technology thing. Let's try and live like with each other. Be
Okay.
a benevolent force exploring magic for the good of the peeps.
Hell yeah. Good of the peeps.
Good of the peeps. All right, where are we going? Back to you, Tabby.
All right. Another faction idea during this war.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Can't have a world without cults. And here we're going to have the cults of the drought, where they want to get rid of water and just bring an end to it all and stop the cycle.
Evil for evil's sake. I love it.
So their motivation is just like maybe starting over. Or...
I think they want to. Would they want to bring about the end? Just like
They want to
Divine
basically
collision course.
Yeah, get rid of all the water like the giants once did, or the mountains once did,
oh yeah,
and
because
they want to get rid of
View
all
that
of
as
it.
a holy thing.
yeah, that
maybe.
happened like a long time ago. So, do you think they would see Jotun as like a god?
Or as,
Probably
like,
like
the
a
opposite.
holy.
It's super misconstrued, like what
Mhm.
he was. It's
Uh-huh.
like he clearly wanted to get rid of all the water.
Fucked up.
And then-
Yeah.
Mhm.
You don't understand. He was
Well, you
going
don't
for the
understand.
purge the world of water button, not the Eureka the
Water
Giant
causes
button.
all of our problems. So get rid of water, problem's gone.
Honestly,
You
it's,
I
all
love it.
it's the
fight
same
over it.
thing as a lot of just apocalypse cults, essentially. Like, the world's fucked up. I think we're done. I think we should leave. We don't need to be a part of this anymore.
And I'm taking you with me.
Yeah.
Goddammit.
I think the
Cult's
witch,
about
the
to
witch
happen.
in Elden Ring actually does that. She's like the embodiment of the end.
Mm.
It's funny because I love that NPC. She's great.
Yeah. I think
It's only
Mario,
halfway through the game.
you're the last one to add to this.
Okay. Oh, I just had an idea too.
And then I think we'll
Cults.
end with one more lens on Jotun's actual adventure, who he was, and obviously he's already been lost to
Design
time.
versus the
But
world of water. I would say actions of the cult of drought have caused these cultists to go around poisoning wells of water in
Ooh.
order to make them no longer usable.
okay, so this is just an extension of the Cult of the Drought.
Yeah, it's an extension of that.
Let's make it a bit more specific. How do they poison this water? Like, where do they get a type of poison? How do they maybe go about it? Or just a little bit more clarity on it.
Dude.
Okay.
The divine.
They are basically people that are, they will kind of try to prey on people's goodwill, enter other settlements, and they would basically sacrifice one of themselves, throw a corpse into the water, and just have it like fester inside and
Okay.
fuck up the
I
water
think
supply.
they would probably wear like secret ceremonial garb that's like laced with shitty flowers and mold and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh.
So what
And
do we
this also-
what do we call these martyrs? Mud martyrs or something? Muddy martyr. Honestly, that works.
Muddy Martyr.
Muddy martyr.
Ugh.
Yeah, sure, I'm alright with that.
Okay, you could pick something else
And I'll pick something else as in like
if you want to. If you don't like the name, it's your edition.
If you want a different.
I
moniker for
like
Muddy
it's
Martyr.
just I can't think of anything better.
Mhm.
So their corpses.
If-
They could be like rot priests. They could be.
Oh, rot priest is pretty fun.
Okay.
I like that. Rot priests, blight bringers.
Blight
Bringers
Okay,
is pretty good.
I'll pick Blightbringer. That's good.
And this basically makes people very untrusting of strangers because they're worried that they might be like blight
Hey.
bringers or something like that.
Gross. All right. I think that's the end of the war for thirst. Man, that was nothing and it turned into everything I don't like.
Yeah.
We have a black market. We have goblins trying their best.
I love that in this sad, decrepit, ugly world, these disgusting little goblinos rise up and they're like these virtuous.
Maybe no bad.
I've come
Goblins
to bring
together strong.
safety.
Goblin
in
towering over you.
in
You
a
heck
world
my
where
child.
everything's fucked, goblins thrive.
Yes.
So
I love
let's go
that.
with,
I am the blight bringer.
oh,
Oh man.
why can someone else edit this? Why is there an anonymous platypus with his little marker right there?
I think it's just people can click.
Oh, that's fair. So, I want to say
So
that
just starts writing
Cloudhoppers,
shit.
like, they're probably the only ones that knew about magic, which is why they abstained. because they are from the last era. They survived, so maybe they know a little bit about how everything goes. Last cycle becoming partly ethereal. Remain untainted. Okay, and then shoot, I want to pick a location for where Jotun finds this thing that other people wouldn't know about. Let's go with Jotun the Weightless. Falls.
It doesn't weigh anything.
The Feather Falls. Chamber beneath it.
Can we add that like whatever mountain Jotun found is gonna be really important? Like it's like maybe one of the big ones or
Sure.
something. Cool.
Yeah, that's like that is like the primal mountain,
Like the mother.
Catalyst.
the mother. Oh.
Mother Mountain.
Do we want to
It's the mother of
explore
all
the idea of them being from different planets, or do we kind of want to leave it? We can leave it open ended too, where we just don't know.
Yeah.
I do like
I might say leave
open-ended.
it open ended.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other planets might be a bit deep lore.
Yeah. So the mountain he climbed. Another word for like primordial. Cadawer. No, fuck you. Yeah, I'm doing that. Cadawer is the father island of the Sunken Isles.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm
so,
alright
yeah.
with that. Yeah. That's a cool name too. Kadal. It's a strong name.
So those are my two, but we're basically focusing on Jotun's journey and origins and what leads to the war for the grid, or just what he did during the New Awakening. Oh, passing it to Tappy.
Ooh. Hate to do this again, but I got another like clan guild idea.
Okay.
But
Well, I mean, these
maybe
guys
Jotun.
are gonna be ancient history.
Yeah, maybe Jotun like inspired a like new people of just like
think so, too.
mages to just kind of mass out.
We could go with something like, because I do like that he's established as like the weightless,
Yeah.
because he's one of the first like cloud hoppers to go around. So they would probably want to follow that, but he essentially, he inspires. What would they would be disciples? What's the other word? It was like Jesus's close friend circle, and then all the other guys that he didn't really care about. The disciples and the
Apostles or
apostles. Yeah.
The old-
Yeah, it's like his friend group, and then
No, it's legit.
So-
We're
Yeah, yeah.
describing it.
you are a the 12 apostles. So yeah, Jotun Mask of what specifically? Just
Probably just like
worthy magi, I guess.
anybody who has like the magical gift, and they could be like the artificer or something like that.
Why did they follow him? What did they personally want to gain? In like what made them buddy up? Shit.
My idea would probably be that Jotun being like one of the first people to like come out and be completely open and against technology, and also have this strong magical power, bringing like those kind of through word of mouth and just like travel like across the land, like people start kind of trying to find where he is to learn more about
Okay.
their own magical gifts.
Can we say that cloud hoppers, like maybe they live a long time? So
Yeah.
so
yeah, yeah.
people grow up and like they're like, I'm not gonna ever use a cell phone. Like I'm never gonna open a bank account online. I'm gonna wait and be worthy of
Just
magic.
gonna live in the moment, man.
Yeah. Called. I mean, he could be the waitlist. They could be something unrelated.
Like the grounded
Children of the Mist, maybe.
Children of the Mist.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
Children of
good.
the Mist, okay. Yeah. I do like that.
All right. So he amassed a bunch of disciples that all went around and fucked with mountain technology. Got magic. Cool. Yeah. So that's on to Mario.
I'm like trying to think of what to add with this.
You can go back to events, or we're not going to play out a scene, but you can just describe one.
Describe a scene.
Let's call the ancient chamber that controls the stars Undertale. That's just Undertale.
We're in Undertale.
Jesus.
Oh my god, Jotun, we're in Undertale.
Freaking sweet. Yo.
He had a pet goat named Goten.
Hey, how's it going, Spigot? Welcome to the City of Hope.
That's how the
City
goat
of Hope.
laughs.
Oh god.
That's
God damn it! That's all I can think.
It's really fucking good. Ow.
Does anyone else have any ideas right now? I'm still thinking.
Yeah, I think it's just on
Sure.
time. This is kind of the closing scene. So
Okay.
if anyone has quick, cool ideas, you can slap them in.
After amassing the Children of Mist, Jotun sends them out into the world to search for more giants.
Or potential giants, because I think this is
For
prior
potential
to that,
giants.
Okay.
For potential giants.
Like the Children of Mist can still like exist to this day.
That's
very
what I'm
far
saying.
in the view.
Yeah, so in this setting, if you have your players stumble upon other giants, they could possibly stumble upon Children of Mist that are somehow still
Oh.
either alive or like trying to figure the giants out. Somehow
Even be like
kept
guardians.
alive. Yeah.
That's
They
I
can be
was
guardians
yeah.
of giants.
That sounds actually pretty cool. The idea of that could lead to something really interesting with the one that stands still. But I like that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, and people are still trying to, because the one that stands still, the towering observer, was just discovered, so nobody's like peeked
Yeah.
inside it or anything yet.
There could just be like the corpse and the collection of
Those
a single
Jotun or
child.
Child of Mist could be in there, or
Yeah.
it could,
I was like thinking like, what if it lost its guardians and that's why it's stuck? Like it's just like standing there. That's okay. So I would say the Children of Mist are established to basically make sure that the these sites that will eventually turn into these things are well taken care of. Or
So
this is like one of the things that they do.
maybe he wanted them to be like Gundam pilots, but when they all woke up, like all the Gundams just immediately said, "No, we're not supposed to fucking be here. Peace."
Yeah, it's like what if they were like kind of trying to control these things and this other personality kind of meshed with them when they were doing that, and that's like the cause of the panic is
What do
this
you mean?
or am I
No,
like
just,
I'm saying like
what do you mean?
like what if because when the giants freak out
Mhm.
and they go off doing their own thing,
Yeah.
maybe this is like when the Children of Mist are set out to find these sites and establish like these giants and stuff. What if they're trying to control it and they freak out because of that, or this is like a thing that
I
freaks
think
them out? Or
maybe
is this
another option is that he sent them to gouge out the mountains. Like, basically saying, look,
okay.
we need a lot of magic if we're going to win the war for the grid that we're about to start. Go get as
Okay.
much as you can. And then he fucks up, falls into Kadauer, and presses a button.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then
I'm good with that. That sounds a lot better.
Yeah, let's just scoop this up there. Ooh, we could make them like fucking. We could make them like basically the NPCs that upgrade your equipment, where they're like forge masters, where they know how to
Ooh.
make
Oh, yeah.
magic items.
Yes.
Okay.
Secret of the
Okay,
Mountains,
I
yeah.
like that.
Hmm.
Yes. I'm cool with this. Elden Ring has fucked me up so bad.
Oh, that's so real though.
To replace technology. That way we can honestly explore like magic cell phones and stuff where they're kind of trying to overlap it and change everything, but kind of still, you know, maybe some of them don't want to leave everything behind or
Yeah.
are inspired by existing technology.
Like they're trying to like make the two one thing.
Yo, Jotun, I know you said that this sucks, but I just made magic Twitter.
Magic Twitter.
Oh, yes, let's change that up there. And then Jotun finds a holy site, parentheses, Undertale. Okay.
Parentheses,
I want to. Oh, yeah. So specifically. Yeah. So that's. Oh. So that goes there. Now we're just putting all the puzzle pieces in place. And then I did like there was a comment suggesting that there are essentially ancient warbots. That the tech like
Ooh.
these were the big tech soldiers, and when the mountains rose, like, everything just got fucked. So there could be
Fuck, we
remnants.
haven't
We
even
could
talked
actually,
about the tech side.
yeah, we could genuinely. Wait, there's technology. I think we could
Shit.
pull from Eberron there.
That could be just a really cool, like a single child with a mist could be like one of those machines that was given magic.
I'm not sure they'd be allowed, but yep.
They'd be viewed as like a bad thing probably by the
Probably and
people.
like named like the heretic or something like that.
Dark Souls again.
Mm-hmm.
The AI heretic.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Using AI soldiers to combat new spells and whatnot. Cool. All right, I think.
What
we-
if the Hell Dwellers are the remnants of the AI soldiers? Like it's the technology just bursting out of the ground.
Yeah, because the era of
Yeah,
Wells,
these, like-
they have to. So you know what? Maybe. The grid
Maybe that's why
was a
they're so
specific
resource
thing.
rich.
Like the entire world was unified under the grid, and when the mountains rose, they ripped wires out of the ground and everything shut off.
Okay, I like
Now
that.
you just have all these directionless Hell Dweller soldiers that are slaughtering people that are trying to find resources, but we just see them as magma hell soldiers.
Yeah.
But that could
We have
even
no
be,
idea
like,
that they're actually like old,
Forces.
like ancient tech
There's
servants
somebody's
and whatnot.
computer CPU freaking out, and that's why they're burning.
Yeah.
yeah, like that's. I was just thinking, like maybe that's the reason why they have like magma on the inside of them, is because like they're super
that's
heated
so
and they're trying to
fucking
get
cool.
water to cool down.
Yeah.
Imagine you go into the body of like a Shadow of the Colossus giant, and you find like Half-Life technology in it. Because it ripped it out of the
Oh,
ground, so there are like these hanging like tubes and wires just swinging all
Oh,
over the
I
place.
like that. I
And
like
that's-
that. You find all weird sorts of like modern technology and like cables and wires and shit like popping out of these weird hellfire automatons. But it just looks like slag to you, but it's literally
And
yeah,
maybe their
it's
magical
What if it's a-
force unintentionally
Yeah.
powers some of the tech on them.
Yes, what if they're like an
Mhm.
amalgamation where it's like it's kind of like a fusion of the two, and it's like these
Mhm.
remnants, and these things were maybe just drows and stuff that were going into the mountains trying to get resources.
Wait, what are?
Yeah.
The hell beasts, if they're like little machines and stuff that are left behind.
Infused robot remnants. Cool. All right. This is
Gonna make it-
complex and functional.
I like it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make a PC just for this setting who's gonna get doomed to run on his Hell Dweller.
Awesome. All right.
Run my
Yeah, I
I
think
run my aircraft by pissing off this little hell dweller inside of the
it just goes, "Ah," and then generates
I just rattle the cage.
Yeah. Awesome.
I smack it with a wrench and it turns off.
I just pour a cup of water over like the bridge. And
Oh, it
then
goes
he
crazy.
just freaks
He
out.
freaks out.
I just tell him that stock
Stop.
prices are plummeting in crypto, and he goes, "No!"
Introduce it. You use the Hell Dwellers and introduce a gaming service to the Tempest and call it Steam.
One of the hell, yeah, one of the hell dwellers is just like an arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
It's like from Kung Fury. Like,
You can't beat it at all. It's invincible. You have to go play it.
Yeah.
You have to beat its high score. That's how you win.
That's sick. Or like, it's
Oh my god.
that would be really cool to have. You know, that's stupid. Like a giant that is heavily infused in the grid, and while people are fighting, there's someone that has to ride the back of it and play Galaga.
Oh my god.
that's the only way to turn it off. That's kind of fun. Like it's like this horrific thing where the huge backfire is this odd amalgamation because of how they ended up getting turned on.
Yeah,
Where it's like got machine shit turned on that's powered by the magic.
yeah, that's really cool. All right, well, that was 2 hours, and we made something that I think we're all super excited to play. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We did not play the game right at all, but I love whatever we just
No.
played.
Not
That's
at
a
all.
lot
But
of
we
fun.
just made something
Keeping
great.
Are we keeping the Avian Revolution and just like Vasak found the City of Mist?
Oh, I think we could probably explore that. I don't know. We could touch on it right now, real quick. So the Avian Revolution, yeah, or yeah, I don't want to do another session of this. Are you guys good to do another lens?
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
I'm good, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The Avian Revolution. We'll bounce that back to you because you're kind of the creator of this. So add a couple things to it.
Okay. Let's say that the Avian
Oh, the music
Revolution, it could be the exploration of using well, are there any Hell Dwellers still around at this point?
For the Avian Revolution,
I
they
imagine.
would be like remnant, like little
Yeah, remnant.
sects, tiny groups.
Okay.
It's like the barbarians right before you hit mid game in like Civ. Like they're still around and they're annoying, but they're not.
Yeah.
Okay. Avian Revolution using Hell Dweller technology. It ain't planes and shit. It's hot air balloons and dirigibles.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Um,
Okay.
Steam powered aircraft. Hot air balloons, dirigibles, stuff like that.
does steam recycle the water that it expends? Steam power?
It can be filtered back into a basin, yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah, they'll be self-sustaining. Like they won't expend any water. They'll just expend, I guess, the heat given off of by maybe. Do we want this to be a secret? Like no one knows that they're powered by hell dwellers.
Oh yeah, Hell Dweller could that could be a secret. Be like, we invented engines, but
Yeah.
it's really just like a steel trap keeping a hell dweller contained. And I'm imagining all these like hot air balloons with like crazy pipes filtering off the top, like a science tube that feeds the mist and the water back to the bottom of the basin, so it can like recycle the steam and keep them afloat. Like all sorts of like steampunk variations of that. So yeah, Avian Revolution definitely
Cool.
non-magic.
It kind of is non-magic because they're using magic-infused robots, more or
Mm-hmm.
less. Yeah, that's just generating the constant power.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting that in this world we just have perpetual energy, but that's just not a problem. But
It's
everything
dangerous.
else is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I like that. Is that one or? I guess that's two, but I helped with that one, so I don't know. You wanna add one? We can kind of just throw
Grab
some
another one.
ideas, and I don't think we have to wait and leave
Yeah.
dead air.
Yeah.
I think, you know what? I'm going to add a problem here where the lizard folk don't let goblins fly. They say, fuck you if you don't like tech.
Ooh.
Maybe the goblins also don't like it because they yeah, like you said, they don't like tech.
Yeah.
It might be like a thing both ways where the goblins are like, fuck this, I don't want to deal with that.
I think the goblins maybe should be like really virtuous and downtrodden after they have their like bright moment where when the lizards come in, the goblins are like, well, we're kind of left. We thought this was going to be the right way. And it was doing fine, and you guys are doing something different. Now we're not allowed.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Holy
What the-
goblins down in the
different.
holes, lizards in the skies.
Yeah. Spiteful of the technology. Oh my god. That immediately makes me think of, like, little goblins on flying carpets, like, trying to shoot down an airship because they hate it.
Fuck you!
Oh.
What's that?
Now you have like lizard folk dirigible platoons that are like strung together to make like flying cities out of
Yeah.
like canvases and stuff.
Because it's perpetual.
Yeah, it's perpetual.
Skirmish. That's the word I was thinking of for air battles. That might not even be right.
Air skirmishes, yeah.
What do we want to call the company or the group that makes hot air balloons and stuff?
My brain was like going to the company of like Sky Scales or something like that.
Sky scales is pretty good.
Let's put down a few. Scales. The East India Tea Company. No, that already exists.
That's
I think they'd embrace tech. I don't think they'd really want to lose it because technology was lost as a mass extinction event. Like, it didn't lose because people said we hate it.
they're like scrounging it back up and learning how to use it again.
It could be muck tech,
Muck
tech.
like Zuck tech.
Muck tech.
Zark Industries. Oh my god.
Zark
Zark
Industries.
Industries.
We're going with Zark.
Yeah.
Zark Industries. That's rad.
Goes global. Let's just say that.
Goes Zark.
They rule the skies.
Oh, if we do explore the supplement idea, I can't use Zark. Defamation. Okay, those are kind of my ideas.
Called Zarkon Industries.
So this is more a question for you guys. The City of Mist, they get discovered. They're magic. They don't like tech.
Yes.
That was sounds right.
So they
yeah,
got discovered
how does
by
this
the-
interaction happen?
Lizard folk disappears over the Atlantic Ocean.
This could be like a Laputa style thing, but his name is Vasak, so I think he has to be a known traveler, and he has to have come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Circle
maybe
the planet in 80 days.
what are the relations?
Maybe like
do
the
they
city
get
of
established?
Mist like has kind of like gotten a little jaded because they haven't like touched the earth in so long that like maybe this is like they think technology is now the new form of magic.
No, I think. Okay, yeah, it has been a while. And maybe they would recognize that there is actually magic in this tech, and that
Yeah,
the lizard
exactly.
folk are lying.
Maybe it could result in like an uneasy alliance towards
Or-
the end because they are using the magic tech of the Hell Dwellers.
Yeah. So it makes me think, like, would Vasak learn that, oh, this isn't technology, this is magic? Would that be, like, bad press? Because they've been fighting the goblins who said, hey, stop using tech, and they've been using magic the whole time, just lying.
Yeah. No, I think that would be bad press. Maybe Vasak has to keep up a charade now.
Okay.
Or maybe there's as they
Wait,
start these.
Vasak does, or Zark does?
Oh, Zark. Yeah, Zark does.
And they teach him about the magic origins. Could they be the ones who are like, hey, that thing that you're calling an engine, that's ancient world tech that happened, that like as a result of the things missing? Okay. Origins of the engine, I guess we'll just call it. But
Bad press
yeah,
for
we
Zark.
need to explore it more. Like, what importance does the City of Mist have other than just it would fail that quiz? where,
Maybe-
like, they never talk about anything but one other person.
Maybe Vasak also would not want the City of Mist people to let anybody else know that this is magic, so maybe they'll try to silence them in some way.
Vasak gets assassinated after, like, telling
Ooh,
people
that's
about
a
it.
good idea.
Ooh.
Okay.
That add a lot of tension. Is that he returns and starts speaking about Cloud Cities, and then the next day he's found
It's like,
dead.
hey,
Yeah.
shut the fuck
Mhm.
up.
Somebody's trying to keep Cloud Cities quiet. So that would be Zark Industries.
Yeah,
That
Zark
assassinates
Industries
Vasak.
tries to-
What if Zark bans flying exploration? What if they start being like, okay, you can only fly on these routes. Don't go
Oh
flying
yeah,
on
there's
don't.
like no fly
Yeah.
zones.
Yeah.
Sudden policies, yeah. Sudden policies for. Yeah. Okay,
So,
I like that.
Yeah, the City of Mists, we know they're there. Everyone knows they're there because Vasak, like, what the hell? He went out and he found something that shouldn't exist anymore. So everyone knows that it's out there. So,
What if they spread propaganda and they're like, that place is bad, don't go there. They'll kill you.
Yeah, we're establishing new flying routes to avoid cities of mist.
What if they
Just like
blame the
Vasak.
death? What if they blame the death of Vasak on the cities of Mist?
I could see that. Yeah.
okay, so let's hone the lens here. How is Vasak killed?
Maybe it is on a trip to revisit a city. Like he comes back with the information, he tells people, Zark Industries finds out.
Yeah.
He goes back to the city, and on his way back, like returning back, he's shot out of the sky.
Oh, I love that's really good.
Mm-hmm. He's shot out of the sky, or something's planted on his plane, or his dirigible,
It could be
to
that
ensue that the city of mist has.
They make it look like some
Woefully-
magic shit happened.
Yeah, or like the city of mist planted something on the plane to keep away outsiders, and that these people are dangerous. We shouldn't go near them.
I do want the ruins of Vasak's ship to be like a thing that people can find. So
Yeah, okay.
You
yeah.
go there and it's like, oh, he wasn't killed by them because he was carrying like magic gifts from the City of Mist that they were going to give
Yes,
to us.
uh-huh.
So they wouldn't have done that. or like maybe he rated it like there would be a letter or something. So Cloud Jumper's full. His
Yeah,
death.
maybe that's what Zark Industry does, is they spread the news like, we found Vasek's ship crashed and his body dead, and they produce false evidence to insinuate that the City of Mist purposefully
Yeah,
made sure that he
so
wouldn't make the trip home.
I think we could make it simple, just that he was like shot down by like a harpoon from a zeppelin or something. Just really easy.
yeah.
We're like, yeah, he's gone. Look, we have a hat, his hat that he left at home, and this letter saying, "Hey, if they kill me," right? So they wouldn't
His
like
body-
they would let his body fall, and then they wouldn't be able to find it because of the fucking mist.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Shot
lost
him out
in
of
the
the
mist,
sky.
lost to the city.
Oh,
Shouldn't have gone there.
they shot him out of the sky in a place that he would fall into
Maybe a crater.
Well, yeah, maybe. A crater. So if a party goes adventuring in one of the deepest craters, they might find a destroyed zeppelin down there.
In a crater. Let's go.
It's like finding the Titanic at the bottom of the Atlantic.
And what if like still in the crater is like the surviving like engine catalyst, the
Oh, the
Hell
Yeah, like the
boss.
Hell Dweller.
got
The Hell
broken
Dweller's like
free.
still sitting in there.
Oh, the one from his ship.
For the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
from
from
his
his
ship.
ship.
And
Yeah.
he just like tells
Yeah,
the,
the
whole
little,
truth.
like,
He's just like,
Magneto
"Hey, they,
comedy
they
story."
shot the shit out of my guy.
Yeah, Zark-
he's been stuck. He's
I
been
love
stuck
that.
in the engine this whole time.
And his engine's name
Oh,
will
poor
be
little guy.
N-Jin from Crash Bandicoot.
Well,
Protect.
turn you into a robot.
Ah, I love that. Little robot buddy.
Okay. You know what? Let's say that maybe Vasek goes there. They take his engine out of his ship, and they're like, "Hey, this thing's okay now. Like it's full magic. It's not like crazy AI anymore. It's not going crazy. So it will just help you get back." And
Oh.
this will be proof
Oh.
of like you can benefit from us, like this
Okay,
relationship here
that's pretty cool.
Hell
Okay,
Dweller.
was fixed by the cloud hoppers.
Cloud
Cloud
hoppers.
hoppers.
Yeah.
It's fixed.
They turned his Hell Dweller into something heaven sent.
Okay, we're back to Treasure Planet. That's nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
They got the Treasure Planet robot.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. I think we're fully fleshed out here. We have a lot of recent stuff, a lot of tension, and a lot of lies already established. It's gonna be fun. Cool. Yeah, we can maybe flesh out the races a little bit later, and then I
Yeah.
guess next week we'll do the Festival of the Wanderer.
Oh,
We'll
hell
kick this
yeah.
adventure off. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining me and for committing to the oncoming adventure.
Yay,
we
I'm
might throw in
excited.
some other players. We might just stick with us. It's just really a matter of I think who's available. But this is
Honestly,
Tall
it'd be cool
Tale's
to
first
have them.
campaign. I think.
Yeah.
It'd be cool
Oh,
to
that's
have fresh
exciting.
people that haven't like interacted with this and have them like kind of.
Yeah, and
Learn
have all
about
us like subtly be gods of the city.
I love it. Cool.
And we are officially out of here. Not literally, but goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.